Hi, my name is Jervon, and this is Elizabeth Levy. Welcome to another episode of Focus on Tomorrow. Focus on Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization located in Chicago, Illinois. You can find us on the web at www.focus-on/tomorrow.org, and you can email us at info@focus-on/tomorrow.org. Hi, Levy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, so we're gonna start. So you work with Barrels of Monkeys.
Barrel of Monkeys, yep.
So what is Barrels of Monkeys' mission?
So Barrel of Monkeys is an arts education not-for-profit theater company. We go into Chicago public elementary schools and we teach creative writing. And our goals are to build literacy skills, build enthusiasm for language arts, and build self-esteem. And we do that by doing 6-week creative writing residencies in Chicago public elementary schools and performing the students' work both at the schools and for the general public.
So why is it important to learn to practice creative writing?
Well, we think that creative writing is a great form by which to explore self-expression. It's a great way to share one's ideas, and we share that through writing. We share that through acting out our stories and acting out our ideas with our students. So writing is just a really great, writing and performing is a really great way to celebrate the power of one's own voice. And our goals are to celebrate the power of students' imaginations whom we work with.
So what inspires such a unique organization? Because you don't see organizations like these being created every day.
Yeah, so it was founded by some students from Northwestern University. They were part of a student theater group called Griffin's Tale that collected stories from students in Evanston, and they performed their stories. And after our founders graduated, they wanted to continue to do that kind of work of performing students' writing, but having more of a connection with the students themselves. So not just getting their stories, but also helping them write and helping them find that self-expression. So they wanted to do that work in Chicago public schools, and they got together with a bunch of other friends of theirs from school, and they built this organization and built a very unique writing curriculum that we're still using to this day in Chicago public elementary schools.
So is Barrels of Monkeys totally volunteer based, or?
No, I'm on staff. We have a full staff. Our teachers are paid teaching artists in the classroom, but we also volunteer our time by performing at our public show, That's Weird Grandma, for the general public.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What is the age range of students that you work with?
So in our in-school program, we work with 3rd through 5th graders. And then we have an after-school program in Rogers Park through the Chicago Park District, and those students that we work with are ages 7 to 13.
Is there a particular reason why you guys stuck to that age range?
Yeah, I think we were really interested in working with students at a very critical time in their writing skills learning. So 3rd through 5th grade was really an interesting time for what students are learning in terms of building character and setting and learning different types of writing like persuasive writing and personal narrative. And so our curriculum is really geared towards those kinds of writing styles that students are really learning in 3rd through 5th grade specifically. And because we bring so much play and into the classroom, we thought that would be really well suited for 3rd through 5th graders in our in-school program.
What's the environment like in which the students work in?
It's a very playful and exciting environment that we try to bring into the classroom. So one of the things that's really unique about our program is that we bring 5 Barrel of Monkeys teaching artists into the classroom. So right away we're bringing 5 adults into the room, and one of the very first things that we do is we move the desks out of the way and we sort of change the landscape of the classroom. And then we go over some very basic Barrel of Monkeys agreements, which are not too dissimilar from what students already probably have in their classroom, but they're all based on respect and listening to each other. And they include every idea is a good idea. That's kind of like the major tenet of our ideas in the classroom, is that every idea is a good idea. We support each other's ideas. We respect ourselves and others, and we keep the peace, and we sort of talk about the ways in which we keep the peace in the classroom. And so that kind of environment, we're hoping really sort of sets forth an idea that students can really have the freedom to express themselves in the classroom. Each student is given their very own Barrel of Monkeys journal, which they can write in. And then pretty much right away we start warming up. We play a lot of games. We do a lot of things in larger groups and then smaller groups. And then by the end of the 90 minutes that we're working with students, the last 20 or 25 minutes or so, that's when they're really writing on their own. But before that, they're playing games, they're listening to each other, they're acting out their stories, they're writing stories in groups. So we do a lot in a short amount of time, but we're really trying to bring a lot of play and excitement to writing in the classroom.
That's really cool because I think like playing helps a lot with creativity, because I feel like when I'm having fun or I'm listening to music, something that I enjoy, I can come up with more ideas, more creative ideas.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. We kind of want to get students out of their heads a little bit and more just trusting their ideas and trusting that they have really smart ideas, and that also they can get a lot of ideas and learn to express themselves not only by coming up with their own ideas, but being inspired by their peers' ideas as well.
Yeah, that's a really important lesson that I need to learn. I still need to learn that, how to like trust my ideas, because sometimes I'm very doubtful of myself.
Right.
And I think I would have really benefited from a program like yours.
I think we all struggle with that. I think it's really hard to, it's really easy to, when you're just sort of faced with a blank page, like all of a sudden go blank and not feel like you have anything to say. And so I think like one of the things that we're really excited about in Barrel of Monkeys is when we work together, and we get sort of up on our feet and listen to each other and get inspired by each other, that's when the ideas really come. So
that's really true.
Yeah.
That's so true. So what was the inspiration for the name of your organization? Because this is such an odd name, Barrels of Monkeys.
Yeah, so I think our founders kind of wanted to find a name that inspired, that was playful, because as we were talking about, we bring so much play into the classroom, and we bring a lot of excitement and silliness. That's a big part of what we are kind of vibe in the classroom, even though we take what our students say really, really seriously. But they wanted to find a name that sort of made one think of something fun and playful, and so the game Barrel of Monkeys, I think, inspired that a little bit, but also I think the idea of a group of silly people doing something together. So I think that's where the name really
I didn't even know there was a game called Barrels of Monkeys.
Yes, I mean we didn't.
I need to play that game.
It's not. We're not associated with the game at all.
Okay.
But I think it was reminiscent of something playful and fun.
I'm gonna find that game.
Yeah.
You encourage students to not worry about spelling or grammar. So why is that? Because I know that once they reach high schools, and especially senior year, they're gonna have to worry about spelling for like college essays and stuff like that. So why is it that you guys stress that fact?
We think that spelling and grammar are really important, but what we're there to get students to find a lot of different ways to express themselves, and so we don't want the focus for them to be worrying about spelling or grammar. We want them to really be focused on thinking about an idea and getting it out on paper in whatever way they can. So we can help them with spelling and grammar, since there are 5 of us in the classroom, there's a lot of one-on-one attention that we can bring, so we can help students with that, but mostly we want them to sort of get their ideas out, either on paper or express them in acting them out. So sometimes that can be something that can make one tense up if you want to get out this idea but you don't know how to spell it. That can keep you from writing it down necessarily. So we like to sort of help students with that secondarily, and mostly help them get their words out on the page.
That is very true. I would like to remind our viewers, that this is a call-in show, so call us at 312-738-1060. How do you teach such young students the art of writing in such a short period of time?
Yeah, so each week of our 6-week residency in our in-school program, we have a different theme, and they sort of build off each other a little bit. So we're in the beginning just talking about story basics like character and setting, and then the next week we write from pictures, which sort of builds off that next idea. So we sort of try and hit a different type of writing style each week, and a lot of that is already supporting what their classroom teachers are working with them on in the classroom. So in 3rd through 5th grade, a lot of our students are working on writing true stories or personal narrative, and so we're just sort of supporting that curriculum that's already in the classroom already. And really the way that we do that is we sort of start off by getting students warmed up. As I mentioned before, we play a lot of warm-up games to kind of get us loose. And then we work together in smaller groups and write stories in groups. And so each Barrel of Monkeys teacher can sort of model the kind of writing style that we're trying to learn. And then we get to act out that story for each other.
Wow.
And then the students, by the time we're finished with that, then they write on their own for about 20 to 25 minutes. So each week, what we're trying to teach students in terms of writing is modeled many times over within 90 minutes, so that by the time they have to write on their own, they've already done it. And so it sort of takes some of the pressure off.
So do you think that the kids that you guys teach end up being better actors at the end of the program?
I think one of the things that we really like to do is find ways within that 90 minutes each class to have students find ways to express themselves in lots of different ways. And one way is writing on your own, and another way is getting up and performing a story together that we've all written together. So a lot of our students really take to acting out a story, and that's really where they feel excited. Some of them have never done that before, and that's maybe a little nerve-wracking for some people. But within that 90 minutes, we like to find lots of different ways for a student to find access to expressing themselves. And so for some, acting is really an exciting way to do that. And if it's not for everybody, and that's okay too. Some students prefer to kind of write on their own, and there's the opportunity for that too. So it's an opportunity for everyone to try out something a little different each week.
That's very cool. Why do you think it's important to inspire kids to be creative?
That's a really good question. I think inspiring students to, well, I think everyone is creative, and I think, and I think it's just finding lots of different ways to do that. And like I said, there are sometimes everyone kind of accesses that in a different way, and for some people it's having time to just sort of sit quietly and think about something that you want to say. For some people, it's they do better when they kind of sort of bounce off each other's ideas. But I think it's important for everyone to explore creativity, because I think, I think it's a way to sort of find the power of your own voice. I think it's important to find out what matters to you, and for some people, they express their creativity through writing. For some, it's through painting. Through some, it's through dance. There are lots of different ways, and so our access point is through writing and performing, and also for us to perform students' writing, to have their stories performed by our company of professional actors. But I think finding ways to be creative is a really wonderful way to learn about yourself, and to learn what matters to you and what's important to you, and what interests you about the world.
That's really cool, because every time someone mentions creativity to me, I always think painting or knowing how to draw, and that's not what creativity is all about. You can be creative through writing, you can be creative through fashion, you can be creative through TV producing, hosting, anything really.
Engineering.
Exactly, which is like really weird. But can you tell me a little bit about the partnership you have with the local schools, and how does it work, and how did you guys get to that partnership?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're really lucky that there are some schools that we've been working with for over a decade, and we feel really lucky to have those long-term partnerships, and our goal is, with any school that we're working with, to build a partnership with them. So some of those relationships, as I said, have been going on for a decade. Some schools find us. Sometimes we know a teacher or principal that worked at one school, and they moved to another school, and they bring us along with them. So we really benefit from our allies and advocates in schools, like teachers and principals and parents, to bring us and to keep us at the schools. And so a lot of our school partnerships, we started out working with one classroom, and over time we've started to work with more classrooms. So one year we started working with this school, and we just worked with 4th grade, and now we're working with 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade at that school. So it's our goal to sort of build depth into a school, and really, as much as we can, be part of a school community, even though we're only there for 6 weeks. It's really important to us to feel like that we're in partnership with the school.
Yeah, I know. I told my teacher about your organization. I emailed
Thank
her
you.
this long paragraph about your mission and all the things you guys do, but you guys don't work with high schoolers,
No, I'm
unfortunately.
sorry.
But I hope you guys are working on that because I think we need it too. Can you tell us a little bit about the after-school program you run in the fall and the winter?
Yes. So speaking of partnership, we're very, very lucky to be in partnership with the Chicago Park District. We're part of a great program that they have called Arts Partners in Residence. And so basically they have arts organizations that are in residence at a park district, and in exchange for space at the park, we offer a program. And so we're in residence at Loyola Park in Rogers Park, and we've been conducting an after-school program there for also over a decade. And there we work with ages 7 to 13. And we do 3 9-week sessions throughout the year. So we do a fall, winter, and spring session. And it's sort of a similar model to our in-school program but students, because we're able to work with students for a longer period of time there, we're sort of able to explore lots of different writing styles and acting styles. Our students there tend to run a little bit older, and they do a little bit more performing because there's a little bit more time. So we have a really wonderful partnership there, and that program is completely free of charge, which is very exciting as well.
That is very cool because
Yes.
anything free is awesome. Have these programs helped students improve their academic performances?
Yeah, so we actually we care a lot about the growth that our students have in writing, as well as some of their social emotional learning too, in terms of building their self-esteem and how well they work with others. And so we actually assess our programs really carefully. And even though we're there for a relatively short period of time, we look at our students' growth in their writing. And we've seen growth in the period from week 1 to week 6 in a lot of students' writing.
Wow.
And a lot of our teachers have told us that has helped their students in other areas as well throughout the school year. So we feel really excited that we're able to track and see that growth in our students' writing.
That is so great.
Yeah.
Is it important to have self-confidence when writing?
Absolutely. I think that's what helps get. No, it's a great question, and as we were talking about before, it can be really hard to think of ideas or believe that what you have to say has value, and but I think that's really, really crucial, so that because when you don't have the self-confidence, then you keep that idea inside, and we want to make sure that our students feel like their voices can be heard and that what they have to say is really important. So we like to really build that self-confidence in our students, and a lot of them have it to begin with. We just like to sort of help support it, and for those who struggle a little bit more with that, we like to encourage them as best we can.
We have a caller.
Exciting.
Caller?
Yes, hello. I'm just tuning in, and I'm watching, and so I'm interested in the program. Where is this located?
So we are in schools all over Chicago. Our programs are mostly based in Chicago public schools. Our offices are on the north side, and we also do a show for the public called That's Weird Grandma every Monday night at the Neo-Futurist Theater on Foster and Ashland. And that show is an all-ages show that we do every Monday night on the north side. But our school programs take place all over Chicago public schools. And then our after-school program.
How long have you guys been doing this?
We've been in existence since 1997, so we're in our 18th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds very interesting. Okay, never heard of it before.
And also you can find out about us on our website at www.barrelofmonkeys.org.
Okay. Well, thank you. And keep up the good work, please. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Keep up the good work. I mean, anything that's helping students improve their performance in math, I'm totally down with. Wow. I just okay. That I want to be in this program so bad, but I am too old. Oh my God. So how do you pick which stories to perform?
That's a great question. So after our 6 weeks, our team of teaching artists reads every single story that all of our students write, and then they bring a selection of them to our company of actors, and there's a group of us that perform for each school, and then the cast of that particular show will read all those stories, and then we'll sort of collectively and collaboratively sort of if one of our actors sort of has an idea from one of the stories that kind of sparks an idea, we sort of try and go with that idea as quickly as possible. We work pretty quickly. We make our shows for our schools in 6 rehearsals.
Wow.
So we really try and say yes and sort of embody a lot of the ideas that we have our students embody, which is every idea is a good idea, and saying yes to each other's ideas. So as we're reading a story, if one of our actors sort of says, I have an idea for how I can see this and adapt this on stage, we sort of try and go with that idea and sort of help each other work that out. So we use our students' stories obviously as our inspiration, and we sort of go with sort of like some initial sparks. A lot of our performers are musicians as well, and a lot of them kind of will read a story and think about how it could be turned into a song. We also like to represent a lot of the different types of writing that we did in the 6-week residency. So we will sometimes say, oh, we haven't had any true stories. Let's try and find a true story among all of these that we'd like to perform. And then the stories that we do for our public performance directly come from our schools that we've performed at. And that's just those are collected from all of our schools that we worked with through all of our 18 years of existence.
Wow, that's really, 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 really cool. So what are some of the stories that you guys have performed so far?
Well, they range in all sorts of different types of topics, because our students, we say to our students that they can write about anything. So, we have a story about a character that was a horse wolf that likes that doesn't like shrimp but likes applesauce. So we have like really interesting characters like that. We also have really serious stories sometimes about things that all of us experience, like loss or violence or bad days at school, and we also have really funny stories as well. We have true stories, we have non-true stories about aliens and animals and parents and homework and all sorts of things. So students write about all sorts of things, so we like to honor their words. And so in any given week at our public performance at That's Where Grandma, you can see lots of different types of stories. And our stories, the show changes each week based on audience votes.
Wow.
So each time you come, you might see something a little bit different.
That's very accommodating to the viewers
Yes,
and the audience.
exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. We like to keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah. Do students take any part in the production when performing the stories?
So a lot of our students really do the performing in the classroom. So as I said, we write stories in groups, and then we'll immediately find a way to sort of adapt it and perform it for each other in the classroom. But our model is really that once the residency is over, either in our after-school program or in our in-school program, that part of the exciting thing is that we take it back to our company of professional actors and that they adapt it and perform it. And not that we don't think that it's exciting for students to perform their own work, but what sort of makes our program unique is that our professional actors are sort of taking these stories and are inspired by them and interpreting them and bringing them back to our student authors who wrote them. So the acting that our students do really happens in the classroom. In our after-school program in the spring, a lot of our students get to perform at the end. But our in-school program, the final culminating show is really performed by professional actors. But we use theater a lot in the classroom to teach writing, and the students get a lot of opportunities in the classroom to get up and perform and act out their stories.
So in the way, the students are being playwriters.
That's right.
That is so cool.
Yes.
I've never been a playwright. I mean, except for like a school assignment, but it wasn't performed by professional actors.
Well, we really feel like we're in collaboration with our students, so we take their words very seriously. Wow. If they write in dialogue form, we will perform that dialogue word for word. So what the student writes is the most important thing, and we take that as inspiration and then build from there.
There might be a Shakespeare Shakespearean.
Among us.
Yeah, exactly. In your own classroom.
That's right. That's right.
We have 1 minute left.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
into our. This is our last show. Unfortunately, I had so much fun.
I as well. Thank
Oh
you
my
for
God,
asking so
I
many great
love
questions.
your program so much. I would like to remind you guys, this is Focus on Tomorrow. Focus on Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization located in Chicago, Illinois. You can find us on the web at www.focus/on/tomorrow.org or email us at info@focus/on/tomorrow.org. What is the website for your
Yes, our
organization?
website is www.barrelofmonkeys.org, and you can find information about our public performances, including That's Weird Grandma on Monday nights at the Neo-Futurist Theater, and we're also performing at Stage 773 this summer in Lakeview, as well as at some parks for Night Out in the Parks with Chicago Park District at Nichols Park and Gladstone Park.
You guys are doing Night Out in the Park?
We are.
Oh my God, okay. I'm going to go to the website and
Check us
it
out, barrelofmonkeys.org.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. This will be our last show of the season, but we'll be back next fall though. So stay tuned.